Mario Party. It's a series of games that makes a lot of people happy, but also makes a lot of people want to murder their friends. I figured, what better way to start this series of talking about games and reviewing them than starting with the one that I remember playing the most when I was growing up, being Mario Party 3. I've had a lot of great memories with this game, so it just made the most sense. But before we get into talking about the game, let's get a little history on the Mario Party series. Mario Party 1, coming out the year that some idiot was born into this world, gave us a game that had us running around on boards, going around to collect coins to buy stars with, and then playing minigames at the end of each turn to give us said coins as well. It's a relatively easy concept to understand and had ways to grow for the games in the future. The next year we got the sequel that gave us what we enjoyed from the first. No, literally, it gave us the exact same roster and about half of the minigames came right from Mario Party 1, with slight differences in them. Of course, we got new minigames and the boards were all new as well. This game was also the first to give us items that we could use on the boards to help ourselves traverse around the boards better and easier. Now, Mario Party 1 had blocks that you could unlock that would give you a higher or lower roll, gain or lose coins, or warp with a person at random. But, like with the warp block itself, the chances of even seeing any of them on any given turn was random. Then of course, to talk about the most random thing in either Mario Party so far, we have to talk about the hidden blocks. In 1, you could get money, lose money, or use Boo. In 2, you could either get coins or a star. So you could see that in each game, it was progressing to be better and better. So, now let's move on to today's game. When you think about Mario Party 3, the question is, what stands out the most? Depending on who you're asking, the answers will obviously be different. But for me, well, it has to be the minigames. While I enjoy the minigames in almost any game in this series, this was the first one to have a whole new set that didn't take any from the past, and of course, while Mario Party 1 has a new set since it's literally the first one, some of the minigames were just outright unfair, with some only having one side being able to get coins, specifically in 1v3s. Here they're all new and most of them are pretty fun to play, except for one long, agonizing, torturous game that if fully completed will take 3 to 5 minutes and end in a draw, giving nothing to everybody who made it to the end. But yeah, aside from that minigame, the rest are pretty darn good. We have a good mixture of platforming, button mashers, timing, sports, and luck-based minigames that I think anybody can agree is pretty good. Something that they did for this game that's different than in Mario Parties 1 and 2 is that the duel and item minigames aren't board specific, which is a much better decision. Now, aside from everything that we've talked about with the minigames, it'd be a crime if I didn't talk about the most important type of minigame that is in this game. Game Guide! Fuck, I'm poor now! This edition is some of the biggest bullshit you'll see in party games in general, and I love it. Sure, 8 to 9 times out of 10, you're almost definitely going to lose everything you know and love, but that one time that you do win is going to feel amazing. You could be chilling in second or third, land on it, and max out your coin total in an instant. Well, nobody's going to be able to take that coin star away from you if that happens. Game Guy can incite some of the most hectic moments on any board because that one minigame has the potential to ruin someone's game or completely shift it around. Now, what are minigames in a party game if you don't have something to play them on? That's right, we have boards in this game! You know what you are! This game has a total of 12 boards, 6 normal boards where everybody can play on them, and 6 dual boards where you can have 2 people, well, obviously duel on them. While it's safe to say that most Mario parties usually have about half to most boards being enjoyable, I'd say there's really only one here that I don't really care about of the main 6. We all know that Spiny Desert is the best board of any of the games from the Nintendo 64, and it's not up to debate because it has the best mechanics of having 2 different stars on the board at the same time and has a really good layout and solid theming. So yeah, it's pretty good. But the one that I'd say that I don't really care about the most here is Creepy Cavern. I've played it a good amount, but just haven't really had the most fun playing it. Even if I end up winning, I more or less feel glad that it's over rather than feeling good because I won. When you play a game, you want it to feel like you've enjoyed it and want to do it again, but that board just doesn't invoke those feelings within me. But with the other boards, I'll always enjoy going back to them, like with Chilly Waters that has an ice path that only allows one person to stand on it on a time. Or the penguins that are Wait, you didn't notice that? I did. Well, anyway, let's go somewhere that's a little nicer, like Woody Woods. A big wooded area that is full of plant life and wildlife like birds, butterflies, an owl, and whatever the hell this thing is. Is that supposed to be a mouse? Because if so, why is one over here collecting nuts? I thought squirrels were supposed to be the ones that collect nuts. But it has a very nice feel to it with the layout of the board pushing you into specific directions depending on the turn. And of course, the Engie tree at the top enjoys everything around it being dead too. But in all seriousness, not a favorite, but still a good board. Next, we have the board that I should literally be nowhere around because I can't swim, Deep Blooper Sea. Most of the board is split into two with a giant blooper coming out from the ground at the bottom of the sea with happenings that will have it grab you and force you onto the other side of the crack. Aesthetically, I love that we have the Titanic down here as well. Maybe if we get this board remade in Superstars 2, they'll be able to add the Titanic too, since apparently somebody's making that for some idiotic reason. However, my favorite part about the board is the Vorfish, because it can't be a Mario game if there isn't some kind of Vorfish. Finally, we have Insanity Reincarnate itself being Waluigi's Island. If you don't spend most of the game in the top left part of it, are you actually even playing the board? With the spaces changing every turn, how can you look yourself in the mirror and think you're a good person if you don't stay there for a majority of the game? Also, I just love that the very beginning of the board is chock full of dynamite that will take all of your hard-earned money if you're there when it hits zero. When it comes to the dual boards, honestly, there's not a lot to talk about. The boards themselves are honestly just alright. The mechanic, on the other hand, of the dual boards is pretty fun. Using characters from the Mario series to beat the literal shit out of each other to take their life away is pretty fucking ingenious. Plus, since you probably won't be able to play a decent amount of the dual mini-games on the normal boards unless you're the freak that always gets the dueling glove, here every mini-game will be them so you can fully enjoy them here. Of course, in this game you can play as Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Wario, DK, Luigi, and Daisy. Then, unlike in 1 and 2, the host of this game is Tumble. What the fuck are you? Who shows up for this game and never shows up again. Honestly, it's a really solid cast that was built upon from the first two games that will unfortunately be having somebody leave the playable field very soon for a long time. Oh, we also have to talk about the items. The items in this game were some of the best this series had to offer as a whole, and honestly, it's a shame that things continue to get changed with them from this point on with the series. Each shop had 7 unique items that could be bought from them, with the addition of the key and the item bag that would be in both. And this game's item shops were better than 2 because it didn't cost an arm and a leg just to buy something. Then we have our rare items, which can change the game in so many ways. We have the Wacky Watch that will make a 30-turn game into a 9-turn game, or you could add 5 turns at the end. The Barter Box, which takes away every single item from whoever you want and gives them to you. The Koopa Card, which gives you the bank even if you pass it. And the Lucky Charm, which summons a leprechaun to give you amazing Wait, nope. Wrong Lucky Charm. This one allows you to summon Game Guy to force somebody to gamble away all of their money. Now, the one thing that I think holds this game down just a little bit is the story mode. Obviously, not everybody who plays this game will give a damn about it. But since most of my times playing this game have been by myself, I played the story a decent amount. It just feels a little too drawn out, and the story modes in the future Mario parties are definitely better than the one that we have here. So overall, my ranking of Mario Party 3 will be an 8 out of 10, which will put it into the B tier of my tier list. It's a great Mario Party, and after all of those years of Nintendo forgetting its existence, I'm just glad that it's finally where it belongs, on the Switch with the other 2 Nintendo 64 games in this series.